Hey guys, it's me. Welcome to the workroom, or whatever this thing is. This is just the table where I tea stain. I need to tea stain a bunch of stuff, so I thought I would go ahead and do that. And we could talk for a minute. I don't know what about, but we'll just talk. We'll talk about tea staining. How's that? So this was just about, 5 cups of water, and I had some instant tea, I had some instant coffee. I also have some non-coffee coffee, and it is like, it's made out of, I guess, rye and several other things. I don't even know. But it's non-coffee coffee. And I just kind of mixed it all together and put in a little baking soda to neutralize the acid. You can get pH strips at like the health food store if you want to check the acid. Make sure you've put enough baking soda in your solution to neutralize that acid if you want. They're kind of expensive, but there's a bunch of them in the package, and it just seems to last a long time because you only need a couple. And if you have a certain ratio of coffee or tea or whatever it is that you like to stain with, and you put that in your water, well, after you've tested the pH, let's say you put a teaspoon of baking soda in your solution and it neutralized the acid, well, then you kind of know, unless you change your tea and coffee ratio, and you would need to test again. So anyway, they last. Long story short, long story even longer. Yeah. So this is my table. This is it's got a drop cloth, like plastic drop cloth, as the base layer, and then there is just this tablecloth over the top that is all tea stained. As you can see, it's disgusting. Well, it's tea stained. It's so tea stained. How tea stained is it? But I don't care if if you wash it and it never comes white. It doesn't really matter, because nobody ever sees. Well, I guess thousands of you will see it now, but nobody comes back here for the most part. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So I hope everybody is doing well. It is Saturday, May, I think it's the 19th, which means, I hate it when the paper rolls up on you. The wedding is going on, the royal wedding, right? In London, in Windsor, which makes me think of, so British accents, right? So like real versus, fake. And one of my pet peeves, and you guys can let me know how you feel about this, and maybe some of you who are actually British might have a stronger opinion on this than the rest of us, but I've always disliked, it's always been just, I don't know, aggravating to me, that when you watch a movie that is not supposed to be an American setting. So let's just say ancient Egypt. Well, the actors don't have, I'm sure they all have their own native accents, but they always revert to a British accent, even if it's an American actor or an Italian actor or German. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like everybody has to have a British accent. It's like, well, we can't have an ancient Egyptian accent because I guess that would be too difficult. So, we'll just have a British accent. Nobody will ever know. It's like, are you kidding me? So it's like, you watch all these movies, and they didn't used to do that. Like, if you watch like the old Ben-Hur and Anthony and Cleopatra and all those, you know, the one with like, you know, Elizabeth Taylor. They didn't do that. They didn't have British accents in lieu of whatever the accent was supposed to be. I have like hair, attached to my lip balm. Hate that. And so anyway, it just bugs me. It bugs me. You watch a movie about ancient Greece and they all have British accents, and it's like, really? Do the movie producers just think that we're stupid and we're not going to notice? Or do they think that, well, if you can't have the right accent, then you need to have the British accent? It's just, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Is it something that you've ever noticed? Or am I the only freak that, you know, has that pet peeve? That was so funny. I got drugged to Les Mis, the movie, a few years ago. I am not a musicals person. No offense to those of you who like musicals. I am not a chick flick nor a musical person. I have never been. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why. I love music. I'm not a musicals person. Anyway, sidebar, and not the point. So anyway, I got drugged to Les Mis, okay? And it was the one with Anne Hathaway and, what's his face? Hugh Jackman, which, you know, Hugh Jackman is, you know, Australian, right? And Anne Hathaway is, you know, American. And then there was the little kid on the street. What was the little kid on the street? The street urchin kid. So Les Mis is French, okay? And this kid, this street urchin, has this like, I don't know, what do they call it? It's not like the posh British accent. It's more, and I don't know if it was like Cockney or, you know, something like that. But it was like this French kid on the streets has this British accent of some kind, and I'm like, wow, seriously? So the chick sitting next to me, and I didn't know who she was, she's just some chick sitting next to me, is sitting there like toward the end of the movie, like in tears, because what's her face dies, and you know, blah blah blah. You guys know the tale, right? And so she's sitting there, I mean, like snot bubbles, and I mean, it's an ugly cry. She lost it. And I just kind of turned and I looked at her and I said, wow, I said, all these French people sounded surprisingly British. And she just looked at me with this horror on her face. Like I just burst her bubble or something. Oh, that's the kind of person I am. Pointing out the, you know, the obvious thing that is not important at the moment and, you know, ruining your life. So don't sit next to me during a musical. If you see me at the movie theater and it's a musical, you know that I'm not there of my own volition, that I have been drugged there, kicking and screaming, probably with the promise of food though, because that's what they did. That they promised me food. So you promise me food and I'll probably go with you. I have no self-control, no willpower when it comes to, you know, good food. But anyway, yeah, so if you see me at a musical, it's because I was drugged there and I do not want to be there. Or a chick flick. You will never see me at a Nicholas Sparks movie. Just shoot me now. Nope. I think the reason is because I hate predictability, like on a huge scale. So all these chick flick movies are basically guy meets girl or girl meets guy, you know, whatever, tree meets elephant, whatever it is, even if it's, you know, I don't know, you know. And, you know, they don't like each other at first. There's some kind of drama because he's, you know, a douche or she's a princess and high maintenance and he's a cowboy, you know, whatever. There's that tension. And of course, then something dramatic happens that kind of makes them look at each other differently, and they try to start a romance, and it's really difficult because they're really, really different people, and then they all have a change of heart, and you know, whatever, and then they get together at the end, or they die together, or whatever it is. It's like they just change the names of the characters, and it's basically the same, you know, it's like this formula that they put together, and it's always, there might be some variables, but basically the storyline is always, you know, that. Some movies are great that are considered chick flicks. So I thought like The Proposal, which is supposed to be like a huge chick flick. The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and what's his face? Ryan Reynolds. That was funny, but Sandra Bullock is hilarious. And it had Betty White in it. So, you know, Betty White was kind of the saving grace, I think, of that whole movie. But it was actually funny. Was that too much? Is that TMI? Do you all look at me differently now? Do you all think that I'm a heartless wench? Because I'm not into chick flicks. I've never been much of a chick anyway. I don't do my nails, and I cut my own hair, and I wear jeans most of the time, and I don't know. I've never been a very good girl. Never been very good at being a girl. I hope everybody is having a good weekend. We are getting rain this weekend. So there was supposed to be this really, really cool open French market in a town just north of me. And last year, like, I don't know what happened. I didn't get to go. And there's 4 of them. So they have them, like, I think it's like May and June. And it's something like they skip July, maybe because July's hot, or maybe they skip August. But they have like 4 of them. So they have 2 at the beginning of summer, and then 2 like toward the end of summer. And like the last one's in September or October, something like that. I wanted to go so bad. And last year, you know, there's 4 of them, you'd think, and it's like 10 minutes away. It's not like I have to drive far. It was like every single time, you know, on that day, I was either out of town, or people were visiting from out of town and I, you know, couldn't go, or I was sick, or it was like nothing worked out. So this year I was like, I am going. When is the first one? I looked it up. It's today, and they canceled it because it's raining. Because it's in a park, and it's, anyway. So this year's not boding well either. Not boding well already. So if you wonder what I'm doing, I'm just letting it drip. You can probably see what I'm doing though. I just dip it in the solution, and the solution is warm. It doesn't have to be hot. I just don't want it to be cold, because, you know, sticking my hands in cold water for 30 minutes just has never brought me any amount of joy. So I just warm it up so that it's not freezing. And I've never really used cold water, so I don't know if it makes that much of a difference. I would think the warm water would soak in a little differently. It's just like using warm or cold water when you wash clothes or something like that, I guess. I'm sure there's some science involved with water temperature and, you know, surface tension and all that kind of stuff as far as the temperature of the solution goes, but I don't know. I don't know, man. But I'm not going to use cold water because that's just sounds awful. Okay, and I get to this point and I have a decision to make. I have a little table right here. It's an old typewriter table. And I could move this down to here and finish up this corner, but I usually do a couple of layers. So since it's easier to dip the paper right here at, you know, table height as opposed to lower, I'm just going to go ahead and do another layer. I won't like make you guys suffer through watching, you know, me stand here for an hour and tea stain paper. Getting it in the back can be difficult because if you lean over, you can get coffee all over your clothes or whatever, but you don't want to splatter it all over the wall. Or struggle's real. The struggle is real. But this is how I do it. I mean, it's not. It's definitely not a secret or hard or anything. I just turn on the ceiling fan. We have a ceiling fan in here, and I just let it dry, and I just leave it here until it's dry, and then I just pull the papers apart, and they don't stick or anything. There is a brand of paper, and I'm trying to think of what it is. There's a brand of paper that will stick. Oh, and if I can remember that, I will try to remember to mention that to you. It's horrific. I had bought this little ream of paper because I was out, and it was at the grocery store, and I should have known better. And I did probably 100 sheets of paper, and most of them stuck to each other. The next day it was awful. I was sitting there going, oh, you've got to be kidding me. But this paper is just the Georgia Pacific multi-purpose, it's a ream of 750 pages, I think, and I think it's just the standard, copy paper weight. It's not the heavy weight or anything. It's just standard. And I've never had a problem with this sticking to each other or anything, so I don't know if you guys have any tips on that. If you have any tips to share with the class, put that down in the description box below so that those who might be new to this can avoid some pitfalls. Because it sure does stink to buy a big old, pack of paper and then have an epic fail, especially if it's your first time tea staining something. That is really sad. All right, guys, thank you for letting me talk your ear off today, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and be safe and be good and go tea stain some paper, and I will see you guys really soon in the next video. Bye!